whatever the case may be, they ask for qualifications. And you know why they ask for qualifications? They ask for qualifications so they can get to the point where they want to be.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I see Brian Dick can recommend. When I look at these two resumes side by side, the Dolton resident has 20 years experience doing security roles and working with general public. This person that Brian is recommending has doesn't have security experience.
You don't need security
I'm
experience.
just saying that I don't want the people out there thinking that this Dolton resident is totally unqualified. Because it looks like when I'm looking at this resume, I don't know how they did on the interview, but I mean this resume looks pretty like a qualified Dolton candidate to me. And I would compare it to this. Yes, this person has a college degree. This person has a college degree. Yes, the other person doesn't have a college degree. I don't think we should disqualify the person and say he's unqualified because he doesn't have a college degree.
Well,
Well, first of all,
that's the two major differences to me with these two candidates.
First of all, you have to look at even a college-educated person, even accepting this position with what we pay. So now, you take a look at a person that has spent time to further their education and to get their education. I'm not sure where his education is in, but all I'm saying is that I think we need to take a recommendation of a person that is over our inspection. You need to take that recommendation.
in fact, he has been an intern in seasonal jobs, so he jumped from job to job. Who? No stability. The one that you guys are. Which one? Which one, Mr. Sanders? Okay, see.
Okay, you know what?
I just to put my last 2 cents in, I'm so sorry.
Can we move this to
Executive session?
we can move it to closed session if you want, but I don't want to go into closed session tonight.
Okay.
But I'm saying that you're talking about where people live, who they are, and all this other stuff, qualifications, stuff like that, education. I don't think that needs to be made full of. You mentioned names and things like that. So not to slight anybody, I would suggest that maybe we talk about this at a later date, pretty soon, because we need those people in closed session.
I think we should approve one tonight because we need someone on the street. Well, can I say this? Just this one little thing that Brian typed in his recommendation. He said, my personal recommendation would be to hire blank blank due to his education and background knowledge about the duties of code enforcement. That means he knows code enforcement. So just like we said, everybody has to be trained. You know, coming into a new job, nobody's just going to throw you out there without giving you some semblance of training. This young man is already kind of there. So he knows what he's stepping into as far as code enforcement goes. That's all I got.
And I think that we need to listen to Brian simply because he's the one who has to deal with,
Me.
not you, the residents who say, I got a ticket and my name at somebody else's address. I mean, just think about that. Somebody's writing a ticket in somebody else's name to another address, and that's because of what we are hiring.
Exactly.
We've got to step it up.
Let me tell you something. I had a serious talk with Brian, who's in charge of these code enforcement officers. We've been getting some complaints in regards to how they're writing them, who they're writing them to, and the number of errors that they're making. Brian's got it perfectly clear because his butt's on the line.
But that's everybody.
So-
we have department heads, all kinds of people make errors. And we
So
see
we-
they still
so we don't wanna get better?
I'm giving you examples. There's no excuse for why not to hire the Dolton resident.
Qualifications.
She is qualified.
This person is qualified. I don't like you saying that. I don't like saying that this person not qualified. I have 20 years experience working security roles. And
Or
I think the
security.
person-
What's the
I
purpose of
see
having
it.
Brian and his recommendation?
I'm-
He's a department head, he's in charge of it. If we're
I
not
mean, you
gonna
can make
listen,
a
then
recommendation,
it
but
might
don't knock the other person saying they're unqualified. 'Cause That's
Well, I'm not saying
not
they're
true.
unqualified, I don't know that.
Okay, all right. What do you
We
want to
table this then? Make a motion to table. We make a motion and I mean, we're not gonna come to a decision, we're gonna keep going back and forth.
Well, I think we got to do a roll call on the current motion.
Okay, let's do the roll call. Go ahead.
Wait, what we roll call?
The Dolton resident, isn't that the motion?
Aubrey
Not doing
McGraw.
that.
No.
Just do a roll call.
Well, see where it lies. Okay. Now, what is the motion on the floor?
Motion to approve one part-time code enforcement officer of the three candidates presented to hire the Dalton resident.
Okay, to not accept the recommendation of the inspector, Brian Thigpen, and to motion, to include in the motion of hiring the adult resident.
Wait,
My motion is to hire the young lady.
That's the same thing.
Okay, all right.
well,
Oh.
I know
Vote,
we
vote
need
how you
this.
want to vote.
I want to make a motion to table,
No, disagree.
because we're not coming to, no,
Just take a vote.
I'm not just taking a
Well,
vote,
do you-
because
do you-
I know what we need.
Want to hire both of
Okay.
them? Hire both of them.
Oh, can we hire both of them?
Yeah, let's hire both of them.
afford it.
How did you, why
Well,
would
let
you
me
say?
tell you something.
Because we can almost make that I want to make a motion to table. What? Stop.
Over here.
Sabrina, if you don't take a vote, that means,
If I don't take a vote, we can table it. Well, how about we make a motion
what
to
I'm saying
hire?
is, tabling this is gonna take another month to hire.
No, it won't.
Well, yes, it will. You got a consensus, the next one coming up, and then the next meeting.
Man, she gotta get a second on the table. She didn't get a
Hold on,
second.
hold on, 'cause it's too much, I got too much verbiage
I
here,
think
too
it's
much
about
data,
time.
too much
Second on
data.
the motion. Is there a second on the motion?
Oh, wait. No, okay, one more question. Can we hire two part-timers?
If
You
you got
saying
one on
no,
the table,
you saying no, you saying yes.
Because they cover their own salary.
That's right. They cover their own salaries because they going out making, so we can't afford to. I forgot all about that, thank
They
you.
write much more than
Let the record reflect this 9:25.
So
Let's get this rolling. Let's get.
can we
Pick the
hire them both
recommendation
if
and
they
adult
are out writing their own tickets and they're paying, basically, if they're out code enforcement, and this is what we did discuss before with code enforcement would basically be writing the tickets that would pay their salaries. So if that's the case, can we get them both?
right, but why would we hire more right now? Season's gonna end, right? It's
Didn't we
gonna
just-
snow, meaning what are they gonna do? I'm just
They
asking
do
questions.
interior inspections. We got
They're
another
not
thing.
inspectors, they code enforcement. They on the outside of the property. The housing inspectors go inside the property.
You don't think code enforcement guys go inside the property?
No, I never
yeah,
heard.
they do.
Yes, they do.
I never heard they went
Yes, they
inside the
do.
property.
Yes, they do.
See, what's going on today?
There's a motion on the floor. If we table this item, you're looking at November.
But that motion died.
Yes.
Okay,
That motion died.
Hold on the Dalton resident.
right, okay, all right, that died. Okay, let's take a roll call.
The motion to hire the
Vote how
Dalton
you feel.
resident. Part-time code enforcement officer, trustee Bendel,
No.
trustee Pearson,
Pass.
trustee Smith,
No, hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah. Pass.
Hold on a minute.
Keep going.
I ain't say
Roll call. Keep going.
Hey, I know you know.
Yes, that vote. So, we'll have
I did. I said pass.
Well, hold on, I gotta wait to see the roll call first.
You know what? I know exactly what I'm doing, so I pass.
Okay, go ahead.
trustee Hunt,
Aye.
trustee Brown,
Aye.
and trustee Henry.
Aye.
Okay, what is the vote?
3-2 in favor, and her pass goes with the majority.
Dalton resident, yay.
So that's the same as, in this context, it's the same as a yes.
Let me ask Mr. Irvin, is there a probationary period?
What page you just take?
Probationary period with everyone.
What is it?
Why do we have to do
In most
one?
cases, 90 days. For the first 30 days, everybody can look real good.
Okay, that's my better. It's 90 days?
Yes. Keep in mind, with any of these employees, we send them for drug screening. We verify their license, whether they can drive if they're
Okay.
not a clerk. So we may be letting you know, which
Have you
we've done
verified
in the past,
employment?
that they may
Have
not
you
have.
verified employment?
No, we have not verified employment.
Okay.
We don't do
All right,
that.
thank you. Motion passed. It's 3-2, actually it's 4-2, since the passing of the vote goes with the majority. So it's a 4-2 vote for the hire of the residents. All right, next thing on the agenda.
Next thing on the agenda, we'll go, Public Works, a part-time clerk in the office and a full-time laborer. The full-time laborer is to replace,
Can I have order, please?
the full-time laborer is to replace a full-time laborer that was discharged, I'll just say it was discharged properly. And the part-time clerk is to fill a second position in the part-time clerk's Department of Public Works.
Okay. Now, my understanding, we gave Public Works approval once before to hire 4 full-time people. What do we give approval for?
In their contract, we have up to, I don't have it in front of me, so I'm not gonna say, a certain amount. And Mr. Stacy's saying it's 19 is in the
Okay.
contract to hire.
I thought, what was the, we gave something, some type of approval at one of the meetings.
When we started, we were hiring part-time before the contract was approved,
Okay.
because we were so shorthanded. We are still shorthanded or down compared to what the contract is, but this one, most importantly, would fill the position of one that we had that had to be released.
Okay, we did not fulfill all of those part-times. I think there was 4 part-time, wasn't
The
it?
part-time, we moved into the full-time positions, and we're still down on
No.
full-time.
How many we moved in the full-time position, Madam?
There are 3.
Three.
We moved 3 in the full-time position?
Yes.
So how many more do we need to move in? We moved 3 of those part-times in the full-time?
Yes.
So, did we get the approval for 4 part-time hires? We still out there to be able to hire 4 part-times, right?
Previously with the part-time thing.
It's whatever the board pleases, we'll be happy to
Okay,
do.
we
We are
need to-
shorthanded
We
in
need to
public
figure out
works.
something because we're getting ready to come in this winter season.
I
So,
have a
and
question.
so whatever's out there that we need to hire, we need to get it done, get them suited up and on the street, get some type of on-job, hands-on training before this winter hits. And we're gonna have an early winter.
May I,
Can I
may
make a
I,
motion, Mayor?
is
Yes, sir, go ahead.
this
Can I make it-
person a CDL? The
Can I make a motion
The one
to
that
hire-
says
Hold
labor,
on a minute, trustee.
the one that says laborer, you gave
It's a laborer.
no CDL, so they can't drive a snowplow.
No, not the labor.
Not at a-
It's in the contract,
For 1 year.
yeah.
That's what you guys approved. It's still in
The
there.
standard contract that was in place,
Yes.
first year on the job, they are laborers.
Yep.
After that, they have to get a CDL, and then they move up the rank and they move up in pay.
One of the things we wanted to do during the negotiation was take that CDL requirement out of there.
They can't shovel snow.
Because what happens is, what happens with that CDL requirement in that contract, when you hire these guys on, they think all they're supposed to do is drive the truck. And we can't afford that luxury with the number of people we have. So I thought, didn't they agree to take that CDL
No, sir,
requirement
they
out?
did not.
Kirby?
No, sir, they did not.
No, we did not.
Okay.
So they have a year to get their license. Well, you know what?
We gotta figure out something, we need manpower before winter.
I heard the CDL is not easy, so they need
I'd
to
like to
get
say,
it.
Matt, Stacy, I want to commend you find 2 qualified darn candidates.
Not a problem, trustee.
These are both,
I'd like to make a motion to hire Public Works full-time laborer and a Public Works part-time clerk.
Okay,
Or
and the crossing guard.
Or in the 2 crossing guards.
Second.
All right. Okay, any questions on that?
are we missing crossing guards?
No. Kathy?
No, I mean, are we missing crossing guards?
Yeah,
Chief.
Kathy, you just.
Yes.
Said we were missing two. We were short 2 crossing.
Okay.
About an hour.
Let's take the vote.
All right. Any further questions? Motion on the floor, it's been seconded, let's take a roll call.
Trustee Bendel?
Aye.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Hunt?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries for those 3 items, full-time laborer, part-time clerk, and crossing guard. Okay, new business, go ahead.
It was 4.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda would be under new business, item A. It was initiated by trustee Pearson. Currently, there are over 80 home-based daycare businesses in this village that are licensed by the state of Illinois, but unlicensed by the village of Dolton and have never been inspected by our fire department or our inspectors, because there is no permit for businesses. So Mr. Pearson asked me to do some research. Surrounding communities, the one that I found that seemed the easiest, most user-friendly, easiest to understand was South Holland's. We did some cutting and pasting under the direction of Mr. Pearson. You have that ordinance in your packet. There was also a separate sheet that was sent out that Mr. Pearson gave to me that he wanted to make corrections to the presented ordinance. We're here to not just discuss, but to vote on an ordinance to inspect and, or excuse me, permit businesses through an inspection process with a fee of, an annual fee of $150 per year.
$150 inspection?
For the license.
Do we have anything in place on how much it costs for the inspection? We don't have nothing?
No, we don't have any.
Right.
To give you an idea, if I'm not mistaken, before I cut and paste, South Holland was $2 or $225. It was no more than $225, but it was over $195 for their fees.
Okay, well,
So are we gonna go
we
back?
have discussion or?
Pass it.
I make a motion to pass the home-based daycare ordinance.
Second.
Okay, it's been, motion and second to pass the home day care, licensing ordinance. Any questions?
Are we gonna go back?
Okay.
I just got one quick question. Are we gonna go back? Because if we have over 80, that means the vast majority of them have not been inspected, so are we gonna go back or is this just gonna
None
start?
of them have been inspected.
None
They
of
all
them.
have to apply
No.
for a license, and they all have to get inspected.
Okay,
So we're just gonna start from point 8?
Right.
Not go back. Okay,
yeah.
that works.
Trustee Pena?
Right. I talked to trustee Pearson, and I just wanted to add on to number 7
Yes.
on your email. It said water bill and any fees or tickets must be paid in current, and I just wanted to add at the time of when they renew their license.
That's fine.
No, well,
That's,
well, let me say this. In the city of Chicago, you cannot get a business license if you have any outstanding bills. Now, if they come in this first year and get those licenses, that means they have a whole year to pay all of the outstanding bills. I would suggest that when they come in, they have a clear record and to get that. They go through an inspection and have, pardon me?
That's what I said.
You said the renewal.
Yeah, meaning
Well,
every
to
year
get-
when they come and they get a new license, they have to be
Yeah, but
current
the
so they
issue-
can get issued the license.
No, but at the issuance, once this,
yeah, they need it for the first one too.
Right.
okay, then
So it's not just renewal.
It should be
It's to
issuance.
apply for the license.
it should,
To
it
get
should
a-
be issuance and a renewal.
How about initial and review? So this will be the first one.
Number 7.
We already have
In order to get the
I don't have
license,
that, that only went out in,
Trustee, how can we vote on an ordinance if we don't have a license?
right. Now, the issuance, now, upon issuance, does that mean they're current in regards to the billing of, to the old, that's owed to the village, and should they go through an initial inspection
yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't see.
at the issuance of the license?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that reflected in the ordinance that you suggested?
Well, Stan didn't get it out in the packet.
Okay.
There's
So-
about 12 items that should have went out in the packet. That didn't go out.
Is it in the document?
Here it is.
I sent it out email at 3:45 a.m.
Here's my question.
It's not in the body of the ordinance. What, is the board voting?
I guess nothing's, here's my question.
I think you gotta put those bullet points, those 10 bullet points in status, or you might have to redo this.
Well, the whole ordinance has to, that was just a rough
could just-
draft. And the reason the rough draft was done was to get the consensus up here, because we didn't want to spend the money with the attorney if it was gonna get voted down. So if we spend the money, I don't know what it costs for an ordinance, but if it costs $1,000 to do an ordinance, and everybody votes no, it's $1,000 of the residents' money wasted. So if it's gonna be something that the board wishes to move forward with, then Mr. Irvin can get Mr. Attorney Murphy to
Can
draw
I
up a
ask,
list.
can I ask one thing next time? I don't like you trying to say when, but can you just let us all know that, you know, this is a rough draft, it's not meant to get approved, because we're just gonna try to approve this
Yes.
tonight. I think everybody.
We have approved resolutions and or ordinances in the past that were amended.
Exactly.
What this is a template with amendments being made tonight. Mr. Murphy would clean it up once it was voted on, just like we have in the past.
So you wanna make a motion to, you wanna say all the 10 things you wanna add to that order and then
Yeah.
pass it?
Why don't we have a cleanup document for the board to look at?
Here's a question I've been trying to ask for a minute. Are these all home daycares, or are these people in the community? Because I don't want to assume that everybody is on assistance, because everybody is not on assistance. But I know if you are on some type of assistance, there is money that is given to people who watch your children for you while you work, do whatever you do. So do we have real daycares in all of these, or do we have, or are some daycares and then some are just Miss So-and-so and she's keeping
These
so
are
many kids
88
and she gets,
home-based daycares that the state has identified to us.
that's what I'm saying. The state pays this money out, you know, with people who, different people who have any kind of assistance. And say, for instance, I have some type of assistance, whether I'm getting money for food or just getting money for whatever, because I have children. And if I have so many children and I'm bringing them over your house to watch
Can I get
them
order
for
back
me,
there, please?
if I'm bringing my children to your house to watch for me, the state is going to pay you an allowance for watching my children. That's why I'm saying, do we have real daycares, or do we have people who are just watching people's children and they say, oh, well, if I watch 7 of them, I can get this much? It does. Because this-
Well, you know, what we have verified is that there's over 80 establishments here in the village of Dolton, most of them being residential, that have applied through the state to get their state licensing. So we,
they apply for the state license.
yeah, that have an active daycare license through the state. So, I would suggest that we put some regulation in regards to regulating these daycares, because I don't really want what happened in regards to the dog issue to happen again.
Right.
If we had annual inspections of these businesses when they renew their license, we probably could avoid that negative press that we got on the news in regards to all those dogs. So I'd rather be on the offense than the defense, and if the state has certain requirements for them to be able to obtain a state license, so we need to put something in place, especially since our neighbors got something in place to regulate this, where we can go in and inspect these facilities to make sure that they're in compliance.
I do have a question about the ordinance. I do want to pass. Did any lawyer look at this, or this you just took a mock and just changed
No, I
it?
just sent it to Stan and asked him to put something together. He did a rough draft. I sent him some items that I wanted to make sure was covered in the ordinance, and he did.
Stan, did any lawyer look at this ordinance that you wanted to
It
pass?
was emailed out to both attorneys last Thursday evening, the same time the board got it.
Okay. Can we just get a consensus that we want to put something in place for the regulation of these daycare centers here in the town? Okay.
If you want it in the full.
Now, we can fine tune it with the attorneys. We may use the state guidelines as a template and South Holland's regulations as a template to put something in effect for us. So maybe,
Okay, let's take, sis.
I got one last question. This is for the clerk and the attorney. Can we approve this, leave the leeway to come back and amend it?
I think we're better off cleaning up the document.
right.
So everybody knows what it is they're voting on.
Okay.
Not a draft with several.
How about we just pull this right now?
Right.
Pull this right now, let the attorneys take a look at it, put the proper things in place, fine tune it, and then we put it back on the agenda. Would that be okay?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good, Mayor.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll on. We're withdrawing it. Motion's withdrawn?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Make a motion to remove this from the agenda. new item B, rental space for Melanie Center, because all we got is one page, completely unacceptable.
Okay, the second item for new business has been removed from
Completely
her.
unacceptable. You're trying to do business and you give me, you get this, that's it?
That was what was presented, it was unsolicited, they came
Oh,
to the Melanie Center.
I
I
understand.
spoke with them, that's what they offered. I sent it out 5 weeks ago, waiting for responses. Until I put it on the agenda, I got no responses.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to,
Did you receive it?
And
No
to pull
response
it off
over
the
5 weeks.
agenda.
oh, they not responding?
No,
Yes.
trustees, other than you, Mr. Hunter, the only one that responded.
How would I?
Wait,
I wanna
Mike,
read that, there's no one using that space right now, right?
How you gonna rent it out if they don't respond?
No,
No,
he
it's
said
the
trustees
trustees.
responded to his email.
Oh,
No, this agency is responding.
Right,
They're
you know what,
interested
we
in
need
that
just a little
space.
bit more information because I know exactly who these people are and there's nothing wrong with them. But just like everything else where you need a business plan, you need a business plan, you need a business plan that comes in my face, they need to come better than this. I'm sorry, they
well,
need.
we just
Why?
had the Dorchester with no business plan.
I'd like to make a motion
Why
to
can't-
approve
so
the
why can't
rental.
you do that? So what they got right here?
Excuse me, ma'am, can I make a motion?
I mean, they
okay,
need
hold
to
on,
give us-
hold on, wait.
What are,
There's a
You
motion
just
by
want it read.
trustee Smith. What was your motion, trustee Smith? To pull it. Okay, is there a second?
no, y'all don't wanna pull it, I'm not gonna vote on it.
There's no second? Okay,
The motion is over.
motion fails. Okay,
Problem.
anything else?
Yeah,
Robert.
can I make a motion, please? I'd like to make a motion to approve the rental of the real estate space at the Melanie Fitness with the,
Okay, now, I think trustee Smith wanted to make a
problem with
motion to
that.
table it.
That's okay. She didn't get a second.
No, I made a motion to pull it.
She made a motion to pull it, there
There's
was
a
no
difference.
second.
There was no second.
Oh.
And Robert's making a motion to approve it, and I'm gonna second it.
All right then.
Okay, do you all even know these people other than,
Okay, all right, okay.
y'all sometimes.
You know what? Hold on a minute. You know, this was, for the record, this was initially trustee Smith's suggestion to bring the considered party into the Melody Fitness to take up that rental space there.
No, it wasn't.
I thought you said you knew the people.
I know them, but I didn't put this on here.
Who put it on there?
Stan.
This is what they
They
presented.
All
approached
right.
me, Mayor.
Okay, all right. The motion on the floor is, go ahead, trustee Hunt.
You already made a motion.
What was
wait,
it
you said
again?
you wanna increase the amount?
Right. I don't want the amount to be at 650. I want you to advocate for more money for the village.
See,
I will make.
Okay, well then we really need to table it.
thank you.
That don't mean you got a table, because I'm saying go ask for more money.
We can't vote on it.
In order to catch.
But we can't vote on it.
You have to give me direction to
Thank you.
negotiate it.
Thank
Right.
you.
Otherwise, I gotta call and say, I don't know. If the motion is to rent, and it's a majority, then you have to give me the authority to negotiate.
Okay,
I'm-
that's what you need to have.
I mean, what all, because they're gonna have you, that's a full kitchen. Are they gonna serve more than
Hey, there's
just
a motion on the floor.
No, just drink.
There's a motion on the floor to approve it, right? Now, trustee Kenya wanted to put an amendment
Don't we have a second?
Did you get a second, trustee?
I second it.
Okay,
Right, second.
I second it.
okay. All right. So the motion is seconded. And is there more discussion?
I have some questions for you.
What's the question?
Yeah, basically, I just wanted him to see if he can get more than 650. The rent is at $650. I know I had a discussion with him.
Order out there, please. Thank
He
you.
told me that he can get an increase. So I just want to leave that door open. I don't want to have it in stone at 650.
There are other factors, that's why I said, this is a full kitchen they have.
I know, that's why I'm advocating.
And they don't cook though, they don't do anything other than, I mean, and it's okay because I had them, they don't do anything but shakes and, that's it.
Right, but they might
So-
implement something different if they got a kitchen. You don't know.
No, it's shakes and teas, it's Herbalife. Look, I mean, I can look it up for you, that's all they do. I mean, they may make different pies or something like that with the mix, but there is no cooking, there is no sauteed this or steamed vegetables. is T,
Okay,
so you're gonna take a chance.
you know, it's been a motion, it's been seconded, it's been motion and seconded. If you wanna approve it,
I'm seeing $7,800.
A year.
A year,
That's a year.
that's not.
We're getting zero now. And they're gonna make shakes, really.
hey,
So,
Let's get some money.
once they get, once they,
that's a whole lot of shakes.
once they,
I'll be shaking right along with them. I just think we need some income there.
once they get the
Whatever,
approval,
y'all.
gets approval for the kitchen, they can expand and utilize the whole kitchen at that point. So, but at any rate, it's,
I like to
if
put,
we make, if you made the motion, we got it seconded with the amended that gives him the authority to negotiate the contract in furtherance.
All right.
Okay, can we get a vote on that?
Well, what is it we're doing?
what's
There's
the,
no dollar.
There's no dollar
I didn't
amount.
say all the stuff that.
Nobody else
I mean,
has
what's
been
the
asked.
exact-
You giving him to come in and try and do anything.
Now I take that one back. That's not what I said.
What is what you said, trustee Hunt?
He don't know.
You don't confuse.
No, I remember what I said, I want to see what the clerk has. I mean, you want to recall the motion? Yeah, motion for the motion. I want to say for 1 year, $800. Go back and you send them a contract, $800 a month for
Or
1 year.
800.
$800 a month for 1 year. To approve the $800 a month, and if they come back and counter, you can say they came back at this offer. But we want to send out back to them at $800, 1 year contract.
Second.
Okay,
So that's $9,600 a year.
Like Kathy said, to get something.
Okay, well, you know what, that means we can negotiate it, because if something happens, we have to put all of this in the contract, so, that's cool, whatever.
all right, the motion on the floor is to,
Let's keep it moving.
the approval of the contract at a rate of $800 per month. It's been seconded by trustee Brown. Any further questions, discussion? Okay, roll call.
Trustee Bendel,
Aye.
trustee Pierce,
Aye.
trustee Smith,
Aye.
trustee Hunt,
All right.
trustee Brown,
Aye.
trustee Henry.
Okay, 6-item motion carries. Now it's time for citizens' address. I ask you that you limit your comments to 3 minutes and approach the podium. Citizens' address.
Good evening. I would like to ask some questions for the police department with regards to the number of break-ins that have occurred in Dolton.
Ma'am,
What is,
ma'am, excuse me, I'm sorry. We'd like to have your name.
my name is Maria Rebellis.
Okay,
I live on 146th and Kimber.
okay,
My home was broken into on September 13th,
okay.
and I would like to know what the number of break-ins are in Dalton. What is the procedure that the police are doing in investigating these break-ins?
Okay, one thing, I don't have the numbers, I'm not sure if the chief has the number of break-ins. All I can say is that the number of burglaries that we've had is lower than what it has been. Now, from this report the police chief gave me, I see that we had an increase last month. But I can't give you the exact number.
What is the procedure that the police are doing with regards to the break-ins as far as investigating?
Okay, chief, you want to answer that?
Yes, ma'am. Your report is turned over to detectives. They will come out and process your home for prints, and then they will do a follow-up with you at some time in the future.
Okay, the process that I went through is I got a phone call. I've made several phone calls to the office. The detectives who were out, you have 3 detectives, male detectives. And I in turn, my break-in occurred on a Saturday. I landed up going to your police station on a Friday and speaking to the detective that was supposed to take care of this. No one ever went to my home to take fingerprints or anything.
When we're done with this, I'm going to get your phone number. I'm going to have my commander of investigations call you in the morning.
Well, please have them leave a number, because that was the issue to begin with. and apparently each time I called, the detectives were out.
I'll give you his number when you're done. and
How
you can-
many police are on patrol on the weekends, which is when this
I
happens?
couldn't tell you. It depends on what shift.
The evening shift is when it
We
happens.
usually have a minimum of 3 and 1. Three officers and 1 supervisor. Usually have a minimum.
It used to be that the police officers would be driving around the neighborhood.
They
don't
still
do that
drive
anymore?
around the neighborhoods.
Not as much as they used to. Not as much as they used
They
to.
do drive around, but if they're inside processing arrests, then they're not driving around.
Well, I would like figures because 3 homes in that same area at different stages have been broken into, and I would like that information. And also with regard to our animal hospital, if they are closed, how does one go about getting your dog records from them so that you can take them elsewhere?
That's a good question. I honestly don't know. I can't give you that answer right now.
All right, who would I investigate that to? Because I need my records to take my dog elsewhere.
I would suggest, ma'am, that the dog facility is still closed. They have to become compliant. I would suggest that you call. They do have an answering service there. Leave your name and your number, and hopefully they will call you back when you can obtain your record.
They are open now.
No, they are not open.
Then who's gonna answer their phone? Their answering machine?
Yes, ma'am, answering service, right. We're going to voicemail. Now, I want to say something in regards to the police chief's comment in regards to a minimum of 3 patrol officers and 1 supervisor. Recently, we just started an additional tag team. We have 2 undercover units out there now. They just started last Tuesday. They're on the afternoon shift, and they're what's known as a felony car. They get the aggravated stuff. They get the guns. They watch out for the burglars. They're in the total covert cars where that's what we want to address, some of the burglaries and some of the serious offenses that are happening here. So in addition to those regular patrol officers, we have 2 undercover units that's out there working.
Listening to all this carrying, the conversations that you were doing with regard to hiring, if I might ask, where do you post these openings that are available in the village?
They're on the website.
Trustee Henry.
They're on the website, and also we post them here at the village. There's no website. We have a village. We have a website. Yeah, on Channel 4.
That is Channel 4.
Right, we talking about the website. We have a website.
The internet, the
Well,
website.
if your laptops were stolen, you don't have any website to look at. But otherwise, you have to, can you call the village and ask
Yes, you
what
can.
is available?
You sure can. And you can ask Mr. Urban.
Mr. Urban is in what department?
I'm the
He's
village
an
administrator. I'll give you one card.
All right, I would like to find out though what the process is as far as investigating the
Okay,
break-ins and
the
what
police
have you.
chief will, have a conversation with you, ma'am.
All
And
right.
whatever we need to do to make
Thank you.
things move along, we will make
If
that
you,
happen.
ma'am, if you go to our website, and on the first page, on the first page, on the left, near the top, it says featured links. Employment is the first one, and it's updated, so.
All right, well, when I get a new computer, since they took everything, I'll be sure to look you up.
Would you like me to give you some copies? Sure, something?
Now, ma'am, the library has free use of computers. No, I think it's $1. I think it's $1.
It's $1.
Yeah.
Or it used to be.
So, okay, Ms. Parker.
Good evening, Mayor Rogers and the trustees. I have a couple of questions, or concerns rather. In May of 2014, Mayor, you mentioned that you had made a request or whatever for a grant for $150,000. Did we get the grant?
Mr.
50,000.
Smith.
That was for 50,000.
Was it for 50?
That was for the Dusty. I think you did email me about that, Madam Clerk. No, we did not receive the grant for $50,000 that we submitted to Cook County for.
It was for Cook County or for the,
We submitted a grant for $50,000 to Cook County Bureau of Economic Development for demolition dollars to demolish the old Dusty building on Sibley Boulevard.
So Ron, so we have, if we put 50,000 in the budget, can we demo it? Is that the only reason why we stopped it? Demo it because we need $50,000?
Yeah, if you have money in the budget, you can demo it.
Legal stuff, so is it just this
But I-
money?
I thought someone
Well-
showed the paper to note on that property.
I mean, is it just the 50,000 that's stopping us?
We own it. Now, it could be more than 50. It could be more than 50. There's some hazardous stuff in there that has to be separated. Yep, what?
No, he said no, no. We did a asbestos analysis report on it already.
And it came out clear?
Yes.
Okay, so.
We still have the report.
But the 50,000 is questionable in regards to demolition.
That was, that's what the estimate was, $50,000.
50,000. Okay.
You're saying we can legally tear it down if we...
Well, legally, you have to ask the attorney. I'm just,
Plus the other thing is that we have to get a county permit issued, and that takes a while.
a couple of weeks, that's it. Once you,
Right.
yeah, once you turn over the asbestos analysis report, the contractor will go get the permits. We actually had everything ready to go, but then there was a shortfall of funding, so.
Okay.
Hey, man,
Yes.
Dusty, guy Kenny Dusty, do he still have a lease on that building? Is his lease still
Well,
in existence?
you know,
I mean, his lease.
yeah, so, I don't know, we need to probably look at those. I think we own it outright, we can do whatever we want to do, in the demolition of it, we can do that because it's a safety issue. So whoever owns it.
If we own it, we don't have to ask any.
We own it, but do we still have a lease on it?
I want to see if we can put it in the bond. We got room in the bond.
One of the things I've showed the property in the last 6 weeks to some, just round, to another establishment, I can't say in regards to wants to put a family restaurant there and two just build facilities. But the issue is the cost of the demolition. Now, if we demo it, we can probably get somebody in there ASAP. Everybody just don't want to absorb the cost of demoing it. So,
Attorney Murphy, can you look into that to make sure that
We own it.
Kenny's
Just
don't have
get the
anything to
PIN
do with
number,
that?
I'll get the PIN number and the title.
you know,
How many years ago?
what's his name? The other guy. Yeah, Flem. In charge, y'all in charge,
We'll find out.
contract was 20.
Yeah, because we do own it, but Kenny had a lease on it, so if his lease is up, it's good.
I don't
Can't tear it down.
I don't think the lease is an issue now.
It was the fire.
Yeah.
He had an agreement for them to rebuild the fire, other than that. That's
Something
what he
like
had on We sorry.
Okay, well, all right, where we at? We didn't get the grant, Ms. Parker.
beg your pardon?
We did not get the grant.
Okay, the other question I have is, how often do you do a financial report, made public to the residents or whatever as to the income and expenses of the village?
The condition of the village is what you're talking about, financial condition of the village.
Well, that or either, that could be yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Irvin, you want to answer that?
We're required by state statute to perform audits annually. We just received our audit for the year 2011. I'll be happy to forward a copy onto that if you want to give me,
Can we put that on the website?
We can put it on there. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to open for some people that don't have the browser because it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's over 70 pages. But we can put it on there, but I can go to my office and see if I can actually give that to you.
So what we have, it shows what expenses that
Shows
we
you
have and
the
it
full
shows how much.
financials of this village, done by a professional outside auditing firm.
Okay,
And that was
is that posted?
We just got it literally last week, Friday.
Okay, but I mean, normally is it posted where the public can
It'll
see?
be posted on the webpage, but depending on the type of browser that you have, it may be difficult for you to open it because of the number number of pages.
So how would a person get a copy of this?
They could
Come to
call
the village?
either the administrator or the finance director, and we would supply a copy.
My last question is, I have had a freedom of information in since May 6th. And I want to know the process as far as how you respond to. Is there a time frame as to when you should get a response to a freedom of information? And I would like to know how long or what that time frame is.
Let's clerk answer that.
Yes, Mr. Parker, I know we've spoken before on this issue. By Illinois state statute, the village has 5 business days to respond, either by saying, here are the records, or we do not have any records, or there are extenuating circumstances. We may need some more time to identify the records. In the case of Dusty's, which was your request, I believe.
Well, let me ask this. If it's not, if there is no response within the 5 days, then what happens?
Then your repercussion would be to contact the Illinois Attorney General's Public Access Counselor.
You said Illinois?
Lisa
Attorney
Manning's
General.
office, Illinois Attorney General, Public Access Counselor.
So you should get a response within 5 business days?
That's what the statute requires.
Okay. So the question is now, when can I expect a response to the freedom of information?
Well, I can give you the documents that I have managed to retrieve, and it certainly was not within 5 business days, I can tell you that. Nobody's spoken about that in other times, and I appreciate your patience. But I can tomorrow, if you would like to come back.
Tomorrow?
I
Okay.
can give you what I have managed to look at.
What's this, after 9 o'clock?
I would ask tomorrow afternoon.
Afternoon? About what time?
1 o'clock or after.
About what?
1 o'clock or after.
Sorry? All right, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Valerie Chambers, at 15218 Chicago Road. I have had numerous incidents with George Tone. I have gone through the ICC. I've seen Representative Thaddeus Jones. Secretary got back to me today and told me that I have to hear back with me about them with their complaint. I just need to know what are the steps for someone to have them to stop illegally towing cars, and with all the complaints that the ICC have on them, who are their bosses and why can't they be stopped from the practices that they do?
Okay, do you own that building?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is it clearly posted? Do you have any signs that are posted with your private towing firm?
I have a private George, SMJ, sign is posted. I have dividing lines, actually a cement bucket. I'm dividing my property off.
Okay. How long have you owned this property?
For 16 years.
16 years. Do you know if there was a contract in place prior to you owning the building?
Yes, I used to have Georges about 10 years ago. I've gone through this with the ICC. They have clarified with Georges that they know they are not my towing company.
They know.
They know me.
Okay.
The ICC has been, I have 2 buildings, one in Blue Island. They do it everywhere, not just here.
Right.
And they have penalized them, found them in the wrong for doing this. But if you're only gonna get $100 and some fine, why would you stop doing what you're doing?
Okay. We have talked about this, police chief and I. We have talked about charging them with auto theft when it's clearly indicated that they are towing from somewhere that they're not allowed to tow. One thing that we did find out, that I found out, is the fact that George's Towing had contracts in place with a lot of these apartment buildings, a lot of these private property with no expiration term. So if it's clear to you, I would suggest you sue them.
Okay, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
according to the ICC in Georgia, this is why there are so many problems with the towing companies. There are different laws, things that should be written for that. And I have a problem with the fact that they do business in the village of Dolton, but they have no jurisdiction. No one has any jurisdiction over them but the ICC. But the ICC will tell you, if they tell me that they got it from the address next door to you, we have to go with them. They want you to put up cameras and all this. Why should I have to do all these
One
things?
thing that I'm looking into now, and I haven't got that village attorney, is to make a clear interpretation of the operation within the scope of the business license. So, if they're doing something that's not right, that's in the scope of them having a business license, I want to look into canceling their license. And then if they operate here within the village without a valid license, we need to take it to the next step. Because clearly there's been a problem with Georgia Stone.
For years.
And it has. The ICC has a number of complaints. Sent the state representative's office has called us to try to make a determination. I've been out on Indiana where they've towed cars that was clearly not in their area of being towed. So it's going to be addressed. It's going to be addressed, and we just have to make sure that we're currently getting sued by Georgia Store for some reason or another. But at any rate, I think the method is to do what we need to do to make sure that they're not in violation of their